Yes, welcome to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the reproductive system and in especially what complaint or what the remedies we get, what you can say, generally having, not having the kids, infertility cases we get lot. And also for so many, you know, lady is a very complicated design. It is very, very complicated as compared to the men. So in that every stage we can think what if it is that if it in this case what will happen. No, if start from evolution to the conceiving and delivery, so many mechanisms are happening, and so we are going to study not so deeply, but according to our whatever the complaints we are getting, whatever the problems we are facing from our patient, that we will be looking now to understand it in the bigger level. And before that, I just shared one card description. I request you, all people should know card wise what is functioning. I have only picked up the first paragraph of that book, Narayani Mishers, and with this you will be able to. This is with reference to the card numbers, and every card number has a rate. So not to worry, but at least you know what is there, where we can see, find out like that, like a menses eye. Where is menses eye? So you should be able to find out like that. Yeah. When you use this in a fine position, menses eye, for any menstruation irregularity, you have to use this. Okay, like that. Many places, wherever this beauty is, it will tell you what else you have to give along with this. If somebody has got a menses pain, give the female balance and menses irregular also along with the NM55. NM55 rates and all, you know. Okay. So like that, the beauty of this is you will be able to cover up any of the remedies, like every any of the complaints, by going through just typing the one, catching, or you can say word like menses. Now even pulsatilla is a very good for absence of menses. And where is sabina? Sabina, like that. Just type one particular word and follow that. What for all it is used. Huh? So just now I shared to you in the group. So make use of this Word document. Okay. Now we will go to the, I think for Dr. Saab, it is very a small thing, क्योंकि they are all expert in that, क्योंकि 5.5 साल पढ़े रहते हो. हाँ? They they study that in 5.5 years. We try to understand the concept within 3 months. Okay. So since we are handling, we all mostly go through the video. So because, and then we will go to the complaints, whatever the complaints we are coming across. Okay, today, and I'm sorry I forgot to congratulate you all for the 80th Independence Day, because we all are independent. We born in independent India, but so we don't know what was the drawback in not having independence. So many people in sometime in your house itself, you must have faced the uh, dependency. Okay, independence you are not felt it, so you can assume, imagine how it was in a whole country is depending on someone, and you have to ask for everything. So okay, now most complicated thing is uh, we will study the female reproductive system. And yes, and what is the menstruation? Many people, we as a layman, we don't know what is the menstruation and all. That is a very nicely explained. And so that what are the problem there we are facing?
Please note that this video has sexual health content. Let's look at the female reproductive system in humans. So on the right, you can see where the reproductive system is located. And on the left, we have a zoomed in version of that. So let's look at the different parts of it. Let's start by these oval looking things. These are called the ovaries. What do ovaries do? Well, the ovaries, one of their main jobs is to create egg cells. Create egg cells, which are basically the female gametes. And it turns out that once girls obtain puberty, basically when their sexual organs start maturing, the ovaries will release roughly, on an average, about one egg per month. One egg per month. And just to be more clear, you see, whenever girls are born, they already have lots and lots of immature eggs in their ovaries. There are lots of them. But it's only when they hit puberty, that's when those eggs start maturing. And then we find that about one egg is released per month. And if you're wondering, well, we have two ovaries, so will that be two eggs released per month? No. In general, it will be still one egg per month. You can kind of imagine 1 month this ovary will release the egg, the next month this ovary will release the egg. So they will alternate. But of course, there could be times at which both the ovaries might release the eggs. So you might have two eggs. That's totally possible. But in general, it's usually one egg per month. All right, what else do they do? Well, they also secrete some very important sex hormones like progesterone and estrogen. This is something we've talked about in great detail in our videos on endocrine system. But it's basically these hormones that help in the development of the secondary sexual characteristics.
I pause here because if suppose, because it is a common features nowadays, common problem nowadays, that delayed menstruation means, even because I have seen many cases that even after the age, or the children, female, you won't get the maturity, and lack of ovaries, or a dystonia, or you can say not having healthy eggs, ovaries. For that, what we have to do? We have directly a remedy for ovaries itself. Because organ therapy, OT therapy, what OT therapy says, if anything is not healthy, make it healthy by giving that same product. Ovaries is there. It is there in the card list also. Card ovaries, and you can make that with the knobs also. So, or you can say, what is the best thing to have to get a good ovaries, or you can say healthy female thing? What the remedy we should give without any disease, just to tone up? What is that? That is OM female. If we give the OM female, we will see here. Okay, OM remedies. OM female. You see, that is female genital OM 24. Fibroid growth on the uterus and all problems in the menses and monophyseterity. This is the remedy. OM 24. OM 24 can be addressed, or can be given to the all the complaints of complete the spare parts of the human reproductive system. Okay. So I am being the engineer, I am calling like that, don't mind. So every part of that, every part you want to tone up, you want to, you should be a good position. You should give the OM 24.
In girls during puberty. And it's also these
Yeah,
hormones
because delayed puberty, ovary can be given. Ovaries directly, the ovaries remedies can be given to have a healthy ovaries to get the healthy eggs.
that actually regulate the number of eggs that get released from the ovaries. Okay, so let's say this is that mature egg which has been released. Where does it go now? Well, it enters into this tube. It's a very, very thin tube, and it's also given a name. This tube is called the oviduct. Oviduct. And if you look at the name carefully, the duct means a passage, kind of like a passage, and ovi means ovum, meaning egg. Egg is called ovum, right? So it's a passage for egg. That's what it literally means. It also has another famous name. It's called fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. Both names
Yes, the fallopian tube, blockage of the fallopian tube is also one of the most frequently we are coming across. The uh,
are very commonly used, so we should be familiar with both of them. So what does the oviduct do? Well, it basically pushes the egg all the way into this bag-like structure, an elastic bag-like structure, which is called the uterus. In common language, it's also called the womb. This is where the baby will be during pregnancy. And if you look below over here, you can see the opening to the uterus. This opening is also given a name. It's called the cervix. During the childbirth, when the baby has to come out, it's the cervix that needs to open up. And finally, we see the vagina. This is where the penis is supposed to enter during sexual intercourse. So roughly, these are the parts of the reproductive system. But let's come back to that egg and see what happens once the egg enters into the fallopian tube. What happens over there? Well, as I said, the fallopian tube starts pushing the egg, and starts moving it all the way towards the uterus. Now, once the ovaries release the egg, they will signal the uterus and tell the uterus, hey, I have released the egg. That egg might get fertilized anytime. We need to prepare for it. And the uterus says, all right, I'm going to prepare for it. And as a result, you will see that the lining of the walls of the uterus start getting to become thicker. It starts to become rich with blood. Well, why does that happen? Because as we will see, that if the egg gets fertilized, then it requires nutrition. And the egg will get the nutrition from this blood. And that's why the uterus is basically preparing itself for fertilization. All right, what happens next? Well, what happens next really depends upon whether there are sperms present here or not. So let's say there are no sperms present over here. All right, then what will happen is that this egg, which has been now unfertilized for quite a while, that egg cannot survive for too long. After a couple of days of release, we will see that that egg will disintegrate. So it has a pretty short lifetime after it has been released. It needs to get fertilized or it'll just get disintegrated. Now, once it gets disintegrated, the ovaries will tell, okay, that egg is not fertilized. It tells the uterus, you know what, uterus, you can get rid of that lining. We don't need that anymore. So then the uterus will now start getting rid of it. And the way it does that is that it starts shedding it out of the system. And so as a result, you will now see blood coming out from the vagina. And this is what we call menstruation. And so during this time of menstruation, that bleeding might last from 2 to 4 to 5 days, depends on the individual, until all of that is gotten rid of. And then the whole cycle can continue again. And therefore, menstruation happens almost every month. All right, but now let's consider, what if there were sperms present? So let us go back a little bit. Let's keep that egg again. All right, so let's say this time there was sexual intercourse and there are sperms present. What happens then? Then you can see lots and lots of sperms will enter into the vagina. They will come through the cervix. They will enter into the uterus. In the process, a lot of them will die. And eventually they may divide into two halves. One will try to go this way in search of the egg. Another will try to go in this way in search of the egg. Again, a lot of sperms will die over here. This is not easy journey. But eventually the fittest of the fittest sperms will be able to finally go and meet with that egg and fertilize that egg. So let's say one of that sperm undergoes and fertilizes the egg. Meaning what's going to happen is that the sperm is going to release its genetic material into the egg. And once that happens, we will say the egg is fertilized. After that, no more penetration can happen into the egg. Almost all of the other sperms will die out. And as a result, we'll now end up with a fertilized egg, which is called the zygote. The zygote is basically the fused egg and the sperm. And then as the oviduct pushes
I may forget, because the obstruction of fallopian tube is a major cause for the infertility in the females. And for this, what is our remedy? Like selenium and titricarapan are the remedies mentioned in the group remedy prescriber by Powell for the obstruction of fallopian tube. And generally, what is the titricarapan? Is a couch grass, or you can say it is similar to the like a lawn grass. So what I because these the our garke hull, that is darba. Garke is the same family of that titricarapan. So what I suggest to the our patient is, so that to have an sacredness in that, put these 21 garkes to the Lord Ganesha, and then that you take and boil and take that water. Okay, so even garke is it is the best for even for clearing all the tubes. Even it is very good for urinary ureter also. Ureter and even urethra. This is a very good thing for a burning urination also. So since it is mentioned in the book called the group remedy prescriber, I tell my patient to use the garike, put it to Ganesha, or you just like that also to have an additional effect. I say otherwise also the garike will help. And along with that selenium, we can give the selenium. Okay, so and there is a test, people come with you, they put a radioactive fluid here, and then they take the x-ray. In that one, it is clearly, you will come to know that yes, this passage is, because we just saw that the sperms entering here will come and join here only. So for that reason, So this passage should be clear. Otherwise, there will not be any conceive, it will not conceive. It will not have any reproduction. So the titrica repens and selenium. Remember, these the two remedies are tactical weapon. If you want to give, it is there in our numerical mathematica. You don't want to say, or you can say, go to Dharma and you can say Garke and take it. So you can use the titrica weapon. It is there in our numerical mathematica and can be given in 30 potency for clearing the fallopian tube. And I have done it with grace, God's grace. She conceived.
Zygote towards the uterus, we will see the zygote starts dividing from 1 cell to 2, from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8, and so on and so forth until they reach the uterus. We will find that the zygote now has converted into a ball of many, many cells. At this point, we will no longer call this as the zygote. Now we will call this an embryo. So let me write that. Now, this ball of cells is the embryo. And of course, over here, the eggs are shown to be much bigger than the width of the fallopian tube, just so that we can see it. Obviously, the eggs are smaller than the width of the fallopian tube. Anyways, after this, we will now find that the embryo will firmly attach itself by deeply embedding itself into the thick wall of the uterus. This is what we call as the implantation, because it's implanting itself, and then it starts getting nourished from this particular blood. And now the embryo can keep on growing and growing and growing, and for the next 9 months, it'll stay there until it grows into a big baby, big enough to finally come out from the cervix, come out from the vagina, and then we'll have a baby. And you know, for me, when I studied this, what blew my mind is that this means that all babies and all of us, including you and me, we at one point of time were a single-celled zygote. That is something truly hard for me to comprehend, truly mind-boggling. Anyways, before we wind up the video, a couple of interesting tidbits. One is that when a zygote converts into an embryo, sometimes it converts into 2 embryos, splits into 2 embryos instead of 1. Any guesses what happens because of that? That's when we get identical twins. And nobody knows, even till date, when or how that happens. There are some theories, there are some hypotheses, but so far we have no clue why sometimes zygotes do that. So that gives us identical twins when we come from a single zygote. On the other hand, sometimes what can happen, as I already told, sometimes we can have 2 eggs present in the ovary. That's totally possible. And if both the eggs get fertilized by 2 different sperms, then again we will have twins, but they will be non-identical twins because they came from 2 different sperms and different eggs. So they will have little different genetic makeup. They will be just like any other siblings, just that they will be born at the same time. So non-identical twins. And the last curious question you could have is, as this embryo starts growing into a bigger and bigger baby, its energy demands, its nutrition demands, its oxygen demands, they all start increasing. How does the mother take care of that? Well, this is where we will see slowly the uterus start developing a very specialized tissue to take care of all the baby's demands, which is what we call the placenta. But of course, we're going to talk about the placenta in more detail in a future video altogether. So let's quickly go ahead and summarize what we learned in this video. The ovaries create egg cells, about 1 mature egg per month after puberty. Once the eggs are released, they're collected by the fallopian tube, which pushes the egg towards the uterus. After the release of the egg, the ovaries signal the uterus to prepare for if fertilization happens. And so it prepares by thickening the lining of its walls, richly supplied by blood. And if the egg doesn't get fertilized, and after a couple of days the egg disintegrates and this lining is shed off over a span of few days, where she will start bleeding, and that's what we call the menstruation. And since this cycle repeats every month, we call it the menstrual cycle. And on the other hand, if it does get fertilized, then we call that a zygote. And as the zygote moves towards the uterus, it starts dividing into many, many cells. And by the time it comes to the uterus, it becomes a ball of cells, which we call now an embryo, which firmly implants itself into the wall of the uterus and starts feeding off from the blood. And that nourishes the embryo, and the embryo starts growing.
Good. Now, uh, our short animation. So very, very interesting. See, because we just saw that everything, we'll see first this and then we'll go to the other one. See how beautiful it is. That thing is, so many sperms comes inside. So only one sperms get the chance to become a zygote. I mean, was it? 20th week. So very nice, right? Have you enjoyed it? So beautiful animation. Okay. So this is how actually from a single cell, complete body structure is made. You know. So now you can see there could be how complicated it is. You know? We are so lucky that in that only one cell and one sperm and one egg, they join together and become whole body. And so without any, we should always thank God that it become a very perfect. You know? Yes. So like that. So we इसलिए क्या बोलना है, इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड काम चलता रहता है दैट टाइम में वी शुड कीप आवर माइंड वेरी कूल एजिटेट, घर के अंदर गड़बड़ नहीं होना चाहिए, लव एंड अफेक्शन सब सब जगह होना चाहिए, है ना? कोई भी इरिटेशन है, और इरिटेशन कैन बी ए सेल्फ क्रिएटेड, कई लोगों को इरिटेट होने का स्वभाव रहता है, तो उनको कुछ नहीं कह सकते, बट एज फार एज पॉसिबल बोलते हैं कि अच्छा सोचो, इवन अच्छे अच्छे आपका जो गोल है उनका जो फोटोग्राफ रखो, उनके जैसा बनेगा क्यों, मतलब दिस ऑल हैपेंस विद इन द शॉर्टेस्ट पॉसिबल टाइम, है ना? सो वी विल सी द सेकेंड वन, वो क्या है इसके अंदर देखेंगे.
Let's summarize the female reproductive system. It starts with the ovaries, which creates the egg cells. We have two of them. And when we are young, we have a lot of immature egg cells, but one there is sex hormones. Through this particular hole, which we call the cervix, and final idea is that if fertilization happens, then it is basically your menstrual cycle. And that's why you have a menstrual cycle pretty much every month.
Okay, I think it is got almost same. So we'll go to the now next step of the reproduction.
In humans, after fertilization, the baby keeps growing inside the mother's womb for about 9 months. So as the baby grows, its energy demands, its nutrition demands keep on increasing. Where does it get it from? Well, it has to get it from the mother. But how does mother keep up with all the required nutrition for it? And similarly, the baby has to get rid of the waste products that it produces. So how does the mother ensure all of that? Well, to take care of all of this, a very specialized tissue gets generated, and that tissue is called the placenta. as you can see over here. So in this video, let's look at placenta in a little bit more detail and see how it nourishes the baby. So the placenta is a very special tissue. It's a disc-shaped tissue. It doesn't look like disc from this angle, but let me show you the image of an actual placenta, and you can kind of see it is disc-shaped. This is that same cord that is coming out of the placenta, as you can see over here. This is, you may be familiar with this, it's the umbilical cord. It's the one that connects to the belly button eventually. And of course, placenta, this is not really black. I have made it black and white because I don't like to see blood a lot. So anyways, it's a specialized disc-shaped structure. If we need to understand the structure of it, we may have to zoom in a little bit. So let me zoom in. Here it is, a small portion of the placenta zoomed in. You can now see some of the blood vessels over here, right? So this is the blood vessel from the mother. It's coming from the mother. So this is the mother's blood vessels, and this is the blood vessels of the baby, which eventually goes into the umbilical cord. And so the speciality of placenta is that it contains both the mother's and the baby's blood vessels, meaning it contains both the cells of the mother's and the baby's. In other words, it contains both the DNA of the mother's and the baby's. That's the speciality of placenta. So let's see how the placenta helps baby get everything. So let's zoom in a little bit further. So if I were to take a small section of that and zoom in, all right, now we can see it better. So over here, like I said, these are the maternal blood vessels. So let me write that down. So this is the mother's blood vessels. Mother's blood vessels. I'm just gonna write BV for blood vessels. What do they do? Well, you can see from the blood vessels, you have tiny vessels coming out, and they eventually end over here. They open, not end, sorry. They open into this region, right? Into this region. So what they do is that they basically start putting the blood into the region. That's what the mother's blood vessels do. They fill this entire region up with her blood. All right, this whole region gets filled with the mother's blood. So this is where you'll have, let me write that as well. This is where you'll have, this whole region contains mother's blood. So this will be the mother's blood that fills up this entire space. This whole thing is filled with mother's blood. And then these are the baby's blood vessels. So these, let me write that in blue. These represent the baby's blood vessels. Baby's blood vessels. And so how does the baby get its nutrition? Well, we can see all the deoxygenated blood coming over here. This is all the deoxygenated blood that the heart is pumping away. The baby's heart is pumping it away from its body. All the deoxygenated blood, which contains carbon dioxide, maybe it also contains all the waste products. So all of that comes over here, and then it comes very close to the maternal blood. As you can see, these blood vessels eventually become very thin. They become capillaries, and they come very close to the maternal blood. They don't come in contact with that. You can see there are structures over here to prevent the contact. There is no contact, but they come close. They come so close that diffusion starts happening. And so over here, what you will now find is that all that waste product, all that carbon dioxide gets diffused out, all that waste product gets diffused out, all of that, okay? All of that waste product gets diffused out, and all the oxygen starts getting diffused in, all the glucose and the nutrients start getting diffused in, and as a result of that, the deoxygenated blood gets converted to oxygenated blood. The maternal blood oxygenates the baby's blood by diffusion. And now we have this rich oxygenated blood full of nutrients, and that blood is now carried by this vessel all the way to the baby's heart, and then the baby's heart can now start circulating that for the entire baby, the entire body. And then the cycle repeats. All the deoxygenated blood is again pumped out of the umbilical cord to the placenta, gets deoxygenated, and the cycle repeats. And so to increase the amount of exchange that can happen, to increase the area over here, we have these finger-like structures. And these finger-like structures are what we call the villi. You may have heard of this. In our intestines also we have villi. Again, the whole idea is to increase the surface area. The more surface area you have, the more chances of exchange happening. And as a result, the faster this whole process becomes. Now, one side note before we continue, an interesting side note, if you observe carefully, you can see the blood vessel that carries the blood away from the heart. This one, the blue one, which I've shown over here, that's carrying the blood away from the heart. That blood vessel is usually what we call the arteries. Arteries are the one that carries the blood away from the heart, right? But notice the artery over here is carrying deoxygenated blood. Right? Mostly we like to think that arteries carry oxygenated blood, but in umbilical cord, the arteries carry deoxygenated blood, and then the blood gets oxygenated, and then it flows back to the heart. And so the veins in the umbilical cord carry the oxygenated blood. All right. Just like in our pulmonary system, just like in the system where exchange happens in our lungs, there also the same thing happens. The arteries carry the deoxygenated blood, and the veins carry the oxygenated blood. So the placenta kind of also plays the role of the lungs because the baby's lungs are not fully developed over here. And now this blood, which is getting more deoxygenated, which is getting all the waste products from the baby, this blood will be continuously recycled. So this blood will be taken up by the mother's blood vessels, and that blood will now go for all the filtration process, for all the oxygenation process, and at the same time, fresh new blood will keep on filling this pool. So the pool of the blood will always be continuously recycled. We want to make sure this is always rich in oxygen, always rich in all the nutrition. And so our baby keeps growing this way for about 9 months in the mother's belly, getting all the nutrition, all the oxygen that it needs from the placenta. And finally, when it's ready, you'll usually see that the head will be positioned this way to come out first, usually at least, for normal deliveries at least. And then the uterus will start giving its rhythmic contraction, meaning the top part will contract and at the same time the bottom part will start relaxing. And as a result, the baby's head will get pushed out of the vagina. And so the baby's head comes out first, and then the baby's body comes out, and then doctors usually cut the umbilical cord, and the baby is out. But to end the delivery, you know what happens finally? The placenta is shed out. That's the end of delivery. The placenta is not needed anymore once the baby is out, right? So the delivery concludes with the shedding of placenta. The placenta finally comes out of the vagina. And so, long story short, placenta is a special disc-shaped tissue which contains both the blood vessels of the mother and the blood vessels of the baby. It's responsible for nourishing the baby for the entire 9 months, providing it with all the oxygen, the nutrition, and also removal of all the unwanted stuff like carbon dioxide, the waste products from the baby's body. And how does it work? Well, the mother's blood vessels continuously keep pouring in fresh oxygenated blood with all the goodies, all the nutrients in this particular space, which we can say is the mother's blood pool. And the oxygen and all the nutrients from that gets diffused into the baby's blood vessels. And that's how the baby gets all the oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, all the unwanted stuff gets diffused in that same blood from the baby's blood vessels. That's how the baby gets rid of all the unwanted stuff. The finger-like projections, which are called villi, increase the surface area to increase the amount of exchange that happens. And finally, the mother's blood is continuously recycled, getting rid of all the deoxygenated blood and resupplying it with all the oxygenated blood.
Seen what a beautiful, God's creation, So that much we can say. Now, let us know about the male sexual organs, where that sperm is counted and what are there we come, problem we come across.
Let's summarize the male reproductive system. It starts with the testis and the scrotum. The testis is where we create the sperms. Testis also creates testosterone, the testosterone hormone, which is responsible for the secondary male development. This testosterone is also responsible for regulating the sperms. And the scrotum is the one that sort of protects the testes. It also helps it hang below the body because creating sperms requires temperature slightly low.
Yes. So that scrotum, it is made to hang because it needs a cooler atmosphere for producing the sperms. So nowadays, with all our techies, what they do, it is called that laptop is called as a laptop, so that they try to intentionally, unintentionally, they keep their laptop on their lap, and it throws a hot, you can say, air from the laptop, hot air that, even that radiation, it affects the testes, and there is a, for this also, there likely to be a lack of sperms, qualities, mortalities. There are so many things we will discuss. Means good quality morphology means the that structure of the sperm should be good, and mortality it should be, we saw how fast it was moving in the when in the our previous video. So if the speed and the quality is not good, you will not produce the baby. So for this is first you have to, you tell all your techie friends, techie no, patient, keep that laptop very away, not to work on the keeping on the lap. You can just keep it on the table, and no, you should advise that first, because precaution is always better than cure.
Lower than the body temperature. So it also ensures it's slightly cooler. Okay, once the sperms are created, what happens? Well, they usually sit over here, but then once the penis is stimulated during, say, a sexual act, the sperms now will enter into this yellow colored tube. Again, it's not really yellow in color. I've just shown it as drawing over here. But that tube is what we call the vas difference. So this whole tube is the vas difference, and your sperms will now enter over here. What happens next? Now the sperms want to go from here to here into the penis and out of it to go into the vagina eventually. But the problem is, for that, they need a lot of nutrition. They need some mobility, which they don't have right now. That's where these two glands come in. We call them, this is the seminal vesicle, and this is called the prostate gland. What do? They will add some secretions. Those secretions are the ones that are going to give the sperms the nutrition. It's going to give the sperm the required mobility. So when the sperms come into this tiny duct, tiny pipe over here, the secretions from this gets added, and now we finally get semen. The semen is basically sperms with all the secretions from them, which is now ready to go into the vagina. But there's one last problem. What is that? Well, you can see that the pipe through which it goes into the penis is the urinary. It's the same pipe through which the urine goes. It's the urethra. So the urine and the semen will share the same pipe. So what's the problem here? Well, what if there is some urine over here? The urine could be acidic and it could be bad for our sperms. That's why before the semen enters into the penis, there is this one last gland. It's going to add its secretions into this pipe, into the urethra, to make sure that it cleans the urethra. It nicely lubricates the urethra. So it prepares the urethra for the semen. Now everything is ready. Now the semen can enter into the penis, and by this time the penis will be erect, so that it becomes easier for it to eject the semen out of it with a high speed. And now the semen can enter into the vagina and make its journey over there. So this is basically how the male reproductive system works.
So what we learned from this is how to protect the healthy, how to make a healthy sperm. And like there is another system called as a law of signature. What is the law of signature? What it looks like. No, that cures that particular parts. Or you can say, that's why we say that banana increases the sperm quantity. And also anjeer. Anjeer है ना? Anjeer fig. They generally called fig, and there is a anjeer. Anjeer का जो seed होता है ना, it resembles the sperm. For that reason, I generally say those who come to me for infertility, I say one male should always take one anjeer dipped in the milk or anything in the night, Morning they have to mix that one anjeer and take as a diet for the having good sperm, and avoid the laptop keeping in the on the lap. So these are the very important thing. So I have already shared this anatomy physiology. Those who want to know more about this system, you can go to that. Now we will study what are the remedies and the complaints we are facing and how to attend them. Okay. So one thing I already told you how we can just type a male. So for a male organs, what all the things you will, yeah, in male means you will get a female also. Okay. So let us see that I will tell you just like that. Not to worry. There are the SS SS pills there. So starting with, if I are not having the compatibility, not having the strength to have the sexual activity, then there is a combination called SS mix. You can go for excess mix, and then you have to think that the general health has to improve. What for improving the general health? What you give? Mixture number 12 for all the 12 tissue salt, and mixture 63 for all the energy, mixture 90 for having the good nutrition, and male balance and Soham male. You know how that our volume 3 is divided: mixtures, OM mixture, balance mixture, and Soham mixture. Like that, where you want to tone up. For example, you want a compatibility, desire you want to control. That even some people, they, because of this busy schedule and so many tension, they rarely have the sexual activity. That doesn't means that is very good for other health, but at the same time they should keep their all organs, all mind, including mind, healthy. For healthy things, what all we give? SS pills, bio number 12 for all the 12 tissue salt, nutrition, backup, uplift, and male OM, male balance, and Soham male. All this, if you give, it will have a very good healthy sperms. And in case of the female only, it is very complicated. So we will study what all things in the CC combo. In CC combo, which is the CC combo is addressing the our all female thing. Any number like 3.1 is called as a heart tonic, 4.1 is called as a digestive tonic, and 5.1 is called as a ear tonic, and 6.1 is a different, and 7.1 is called as the eye tonic, 8.1 is called as the female tonic. So like that, any female complaint, just if someone comes you can give this 8.1, and many of you already have the digital version. You can just click the 8.1. It will make you the 8.1 combination. Also, I have already derived the single number on the this each combination, and I have circulated that also. If someone do not have those things, also I will provide. Okay. So what are the things are there? What are the female complaint we can see? Wherever they are underlining, you can think that this combination mainly used for such things. Female tonic after abortion, hysterectomy or miscarriage, best breast milk secretion after nursing, and hirsutism. Hirus, hi, hirsutism. Hirsutism is the male like hair growth in the female. It's or the that is a common thing. For that also to make a female perfect female, we use this hormone imbalance and undevelop the breast. For that also we can use the 8.1. So next is pregnancy tonic. See here they are adding 8.1. But in the single number what I gave, no need to add the again 8.1. This already added combination is derived, and you can use the pregnancy tonic for all expectant mothers for the protection against the possible miscarriage. Give throughout the pregnancy until 1 month after the birth. Until 1 month after birth. After birth also if you have to give this so that it will give you all the protection. And breast disorders is it addressed by 8.3. I was telling you, how suppose if how we can give the spiritual support uh, through our Vibrionics. Like if someone is having the breast cancer, 2.1 is a cancer, 2.3 is the glandular cancer, and plus 8.3 is a breast cancer. And also you can use the 12.1 for the as a adult tonic, and 15.1 for the mental stability. Because when someone is diagnosed with the cancer, they are already lost in the name of cancer only. So likewise you have to give, है ना? कैसा करना? कुछ नहीं है, सिंपल है. 2.1 कैंसर, 2.3 is a glandular cancer, 8.3 is the breast cancer, plus give 15.1 for the mental stability, 12.1 for the nutrition. So likewise you can design and give. And if you visit the vibronic.org website and search for anything, they it the same whatever I say, that combination is visible there also. Okay. So for, see, suppose, yes, not having good fallopian tube, and you can say not having the conceiving a thing, or you can say fibroid is there and PCODs are there, that time 8.4 is a remedy. And 8.5 is used for what? All vaginal infections and inflammatory. You can see all things are there: vaginitis, venereal disease, for everything. You can candida. This is work like a spiritual support for the we from our Vibronics. This is this we can give. Even vaginal discharge, you can say white discharge also you can call. That is what you can give here is 8.5. See, you have to see individually also. Suppose you are okay, what are the how you can reverse engineer the this combination? How can you reverse engineer? Means what is the best remedy, homeopathic remedy for the white discharge? See, from where we get start our homeopathic remedies: syphilinum, natrum, sulf, alumina, berberry, china. These are the remedies which are graphitus. Graphitus specialties like a honey like secretion from anywhere from the body. They added many things along with that, so that any sort of secretion, vaginal secretion, will be covered by this remedy. And you can even single biochemic remedy. Suppose you want to give the biochemic remedy. What are the remedies to be used? Calcarea phos and kali mur and kali sulf and natrum sulf. These are the four remedies are given for the biochemic support. And also you see that what are the gem remedies used in this combination. What is the gem remedy used here? Pearl. You can use the pearl remedy. So likewise, by studying one group, you will come to know that you can treat by what all the means, everything is there. You want to you want to treat with the chakra based. So one you have to go, what are the chakra based is there used in this? Go to the 8.1, because 8.1, what are chakra they are using it here for female? Yes, they are used almost all the chakra: brow chakra, crown chakra, sacral chakra, and throat chakra, and like that they have used in 8.1. So you can think about, you can study by going through this group. You will be able to study the what are the remedies at the chakra level, gem level, meridian level, single remedy level, and the even organ OT therapy, OT level. What are the OT? Like, single remedy wherever you can find. So let us see here. Organ therapy, when we are studying this, see what are the remedies are there in this. Yes, since it is already covered in the 8.1, they have not repeated here. But see, and I already told you, this is even fungal infection also, it is addressing, because any general, we generally ask, female, not, is a vaginal itching is there and all, if we should not, you asked, instead of that, politely, you ask is there any UTI type thing? Is there any urinary infection is there? They will tell you if there is a urinary infection, you think that it is the vaginal infection also. To be polite, some people are there, they are very open, they will discuss with you everything. That time it will be very easy to treat them. है ना? Menopause. Menopausal symptom, hot flushes and all, that time you can give 8.6, 8.7 for frequent menses frequent. There are two biggest problem in the female, in the female menstruation, either less menstruation or over menstruation. This is the first one. 8.7 is for the excessive bleeding, and menses irregular for the absent bleeding, or absence of menses or less bleeding. Morning sickness in the pregnancy, it is given, no, no, as a, given as a, along with, also give the pregnancy tonic, and give, specially it is used for nausea and vomiting, because some people they don't, though they know, those who are already confidence in you that this is the drugless therapy, only it can do the good, because only positive thoughts are there in this. So like that, you can suggest, and you can take the permission, and then you can suggest. Next thing is, we have studied about female thing. Now we can go to the male. Male one is 14.1. Male organs for every hormone imbalance. See, if this is a male one, if any male person is there, if he is exhibiting some of the female characters, टॉकिंग एंड वॉकिंग, कुछ दैट उसका हाव भाव ऐसा लगता है, टू मेक हिम परफेक्ट मैन, यू कैन यूज द 14.1. द अदर वे, you have seen that in a female, if they are exhibiting the male characters, skin, I mean, hair and other thing, we have to give the female, like 8.1. This 8.1 is called as a female tonic, 14.1 called as a male tonic. है ना? So 14.2 is just like a prostate gland. Generally, after 50, it gets the problem. So in that cases, you can give for any the bacterial and and the viral infection of the penis, we can give this also. 14.2. 14.3 is the for the infertility. Infertility can be anything. Erectile dysfunction, also the impotency. Okay, that's it. And I always I used to tell you, always give the 15.1 in the both the cases, so that mind cool रहेगा तो सब कुछ ठीक ठाक रहेगा. And like it is must when you are spiritual support of the cancer. When you're using it, 15.1 is a must. Okay. Now let us go to our, we have studied this, and what are the, you when you are going this, you will get everything. What are the remedies can be used as a single remedies also. How to, that's what I am telling you. This book is wonderfully, you can think in this case what you can have. For example, irregular menstruation is there. So if generally irregular means there will be has to some pain also. So you can think NM23 and NM55 as a basic combination we can use. Okay. And also, what are the general tonic for the female organs? That is all this much. Most of the remedies, most of the problem will be solved by giving 8.1. If you think that it is not so prominent, symptom is not prominent, but it's a minor, give 8.1. Okay. 8.1, how to make it? Either by digital vibronic or you have the card. Once कष्ट लेकर के एक बार बना दीजिए, पक्का वो आगे आपका चलता रहेगा. और you select from this female tonic. You see combination, as I told you, what all thing we can be given. Combination 12, mixture number 63. eh? So like that, female genitals and like a venereal mix in case of that. So you can individually also, you can think by going through the this remedies and useful combinations also. You can go and think what all the things are required. So this even I think you should keep this chart, get it this printed in your free time. You should keep on going through this list, so that the number, and along with that what is there in our no, what is the scope, how we will come to know. Only going through this literature only we will come to know what is our scope. Scope means what all we can do with our combination. Like a menses pain is 55, menses bleeding is 56, like that. When you go through, when you uh, uh, again and again read it, that time only you will come to know that हाँ इस जगह में इस जगह को है, इसको देने से ये ठीक हो जाता है. Okay, right. Now the another one which I already referred to you is Bishwambar Das. A single remedy के लिए बहुत बढ़िया चीज है. Always, though we are the follower of Narayani, Swami Narayani, but I advise you the single remedies. है ना? So this book I always keep on praising this selective remedy, because these are made as per the probability wise they have arranged. Okay. So now let us go. Let us see. We will study first two, three remedies. Then we'll come. Please refer this, because है ना, female organs, that is started with the clematis. In the time, what is the climacteric? Our combination, I think mission number 10 or 13, no, it is taking care of this. Let us see. Yeah, mixture number 10 also can be given, or you can give. See, if the why we have to use this, the mostly all functional disturbances, all the functional problems are supported by the sulfur. So sulfur is a king of Sora. So you can think that what is there in this change of, or you can say menopause, everything is around dirty and indescribable, untidy. It should be used in the intercurrent remedy and when other selected remedy to give the, like the first two, three remedies you can select and and you know what you have to do. I already told you how you have to decide this remedy from the Vishwambar Das. You just see, yes, you go to this and then after going this, go to the boric materia medica. That also the online PDF format I already shared it with you. Go to that sulfur and confirm with another all other symptoms. Classically, you must do like this. After going through the confirming the other symptoms along with this, and even the mind and even physical thermals, and you can say hot and cold like that. Sulfur patient generally get, they are very, they are very much, they need a fan. Like they are heart patient. So like that, you should uh, think about all those things. And at the same time, you see the second remedy is the, that is the reverse. It is hot flushes and flushes of heat and sweat in the warm room. Limbs, abdomen were very cold. They feel very hot, but their body is cold. In such cases, you can use the camphor. Okay. Now let us see what the next complaint. I'm telling you, use this. Cohesion is unbearable. So many patient, because we have in our group, we have male and female candidate both. So they likely to disclose their personal things with a male to male and female to female. In such cases, you can definitely, cohesion is intercourse. It is called as a cohesion. In that one, if not bearable, you can use this. CPI is one of the most important remedy where female reject the male. Female, they are not happy in the sense they are not adjusting with the men. So and they have some patches here that is called CPI patch, and you can say that is also cradle also. Cradle of the, what is that cradle? So in that one, saddle, not cradle. So saddle around the nose. So you will get a saddle like structure. For them, you can definitely use the sepia. What is the sepia? Sepia is the ink of one of the fish. And earlier days, the sepia, that ink was used for writing the book. But that book was written by the brush. Then while the for brush, to make the sharp brush, then generally what they used to do in our olden days, that they have to take into the now the that our the community has become very cautious about it. That time they used to thin that brush tip with the lips. Such people developed the sepia patches. With that, they came to know that if there is a saddle around the nose, that means the sepia will address to that. So like that. So uh, and there is another thing. Sepia will always like a pickles. You can say, "Okay, then without pickle I can't have a food," like that. They will talk. So in such thing we can say avoid pickle and give the sepia, and you will see that very soon white discharge and other thing they will. White is one of the king remedy for the white discharges. Thank you. And So you can go through all this. If you will, no need to explain simple thing. You can go through. Painful question is there. In such cases, one of the most important remedy in this is the creosotum. Creosotum, because there are very complicated part. There is cervicitis, and there are so many cancers of the female organs also. In such cases, everything start with the pain in the intercourse and bleeding in the intercourse. These are to be taken very seriously. Send it to a gynecologist and send them to check with the correctly check the one. Tell them to go to the gynecologist and bring the opinion. Let So then if they think that they have to go undergo any the pap smear test, and so many tests are there which will confirm any infection is there or not, HBP like that. You will come to know that with that they will be able to. We should make sure that our patient is safe. Don't become over smart and stop things, because we are only giving the spiritual support and vibronic support. With there, we are not supposed to stop any treatment, and we can't stop anybody's wish to going for the higher formation of the medical science. Let them go. Along with that, they will come and tell you like this, sir, ये हो गया, हम ठीक है, उसमें हम करेंगे ना. Delivery, this is a very important remedy. Many homeopaths are famous for this only. So Actia racemosa is given 3-4 months before the delivery to have the safe delivery. This is a very famous remedy, famous medicine. Actia racemosa, it is also called the semicifuga. This is used for giving the safe, normal delivery. You can use this particular remedy. Painless delivery. It is a help to save painless delivery. In our case, Actia racemosa is there, semicifica is there in our numerical materia medica. You can give. I already told you, if no potency is mentioned, it is 30 potency you have to give. Otherwise, you see, pulsatilla is also very good remedy in case of the if we saw in the previous video. If the head is not fixing when at the time of delivery, the unturned baby is also called as unturned baby. Pulsatilla is a wonderful remedy. Okay. After that, you will rarely get chances. No, like a retention of placenta. Everything happens during the. It happens during the in the delivery time, and okay, so you can think about, just at least remember Actia racemosa and pulsatilla. These are a very unturned baby for pulsatilla, and Actia racemosa for last 3 months you are giving, it will have a normal natural delivery. Good. You can go through yourself many things, inflammation of the ovaries. Oh, mainly everything starts with the discharge, vaginal discharge, like a white discharge they call. So based on that, you can select and go to the materia medica. By going to this is, it gives you the hint. By this hint, you go to the materia medica and try to match the other symptoms and give. Itching in the genital. This is the common problem faced by our all female candidates. So you can use the sulfur, and one of the most important remedy is, along with the, if it is along with the discharge, creosotum we saw in the previous this thing. Licoria, as I told you, Licoria, head of the remedy is the sepia. Licoria with the constipation as corrosive, yellowish, watery discharge. So you can think about the first remedy you should give for all the white discharge is CPR. Give single remedy. Or you have to give the remedy which has CPI in the combination. Yes, there are so many that like a cosmetic things also we can help. Atrophy of the breast, because when I was in Air Force, I got the most no chances to deal all different type of thing because there was no any homeopath there except myself. In the Air Force, they don't have any nearby that place itself did not have any homeopaths. So they used to approach me. Wasting of breast. Breast is totally when they're supposed to come at the puberty, it should come, but it is not there. Then onosmodium is one of the remedy. Onosmodium, and I had to add one more remedy is here. That is, if someone want to become little bit fat, they want to put on weight. What is the arsenic iode is also one of the very good remedy, and the remedy made from the egg yolk. I am not that not coming into my mind. I will share in the group. So these are the wonderful, because Vishwambar Das is fantastic thing. Fantastic book. You can refer everything. So that's all. Whenever there is bleeding, you think about the other possibilities also. They don't keep everything you with yours only. Send them to the qualified doctor. Send them to the gynecologist who can support you. डॉक्टर साहब लोगों से दोस्ती करके रखना, वो आपको हेल्प करेंगे. तो दोज आर इन गुलबर्गा, दे कैन लियाकत साहब को मस्का लगा के रखना, दे ही विल हेल्प यू. हाँ जी. ओके. सो फॉर reducing milk supply, there are two things, and one more thing. Homeopathy is very famous for after baby, they it leaves the breast milk, उसको सुखाने के लिए, ब्रेस्ट मिल्क को सुखाने के लिए, और यू कैन से टू डू ड्राइंग ऑफ द मिल्क आफ्टर दैट वी स्टॉप द फीडिंग. उसके लिए क्या कौन सा मेडिसिन है? लैक कैनाइनम. लैक कैनाइनम देने से इट विल स्टॉप द मिल्क. मिल्क सिक्रेशन कम हो जाएगा, एंड धीरे धीरे, दैट्स वेरी वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. वी हैव नो हॉट फर्मेंटेशन देना है, वो करना है, करना है. सो you should be very careful while handling such cases. Advise them correctly so that you they are sure that they are in the safe hands. Okay. For increasing the milk supply, calcarea carb they have written here. I say that there is another remedy for giving the correct or increasing milk, that is calcarea phos 6x. If you think that milk is not sufficient in the in the female after the delivery, you can use the calcarea phos 6x. And for the to stop the milk after that baby stops after the year or 1 2 year, as per their own convenience, you can give lac caninum for stopping the milk production. There are so many things that are there you can go through. If nipples are affected, I was telling castor equi was one of the most important remedy in the even breast cancer also, because that retraction happens, cracks. So based on the symptoms, you can Yeah, it is a common thing which is already there in our menses irregular combination. You can go through, and if you try to find the single remedy, that's fantastic. Go to the materia medica and find out, and it will give the, if nothing is mentioned, you can give the 30 potency. Please make a habit of going through the select your remedy, that will make you the best homeopath and also the best healer, and it will make you best premature. Okay. Anyway, everything is a profuse menstruation we have already given. It is menses bleeding is there. If first you have to start with your the normal combinations, whatever we saw, menses bleeding, menses pain, menses irregular, and soham female, like that we can start with that. If not, if you are not getting the correct answer, you don't declare that vibronic is not working. अगर वो एक बंदा पर्टिकुलरली आफ्टर गिविंग दी menstruation नहीं आ रहा है ठीक से, then you are going to the menses irregular, don't declare that vibronic is failure. come to this book Come to this book and try to match the symptoms precisely, then go to the numerical mathematica and make and give. Even I told you that David Tansley has very beautifully explained that, sometime the remedy made by Vibronic machine, they worked better than the original remedies. In this book called as the Dimension of Radionics, he has mentioned this. If someone has this, I think nowadays the digital zamana hai, you will get it and you can see that he has written that, when he made the remedies with the radionic machine, it worked better than the original remedy. Okay. There are so many things are there you can go through, because in this is a very big chapter which, doctors study in 5.5 years. We try to make it, and to so that क्या चल रहा है वो पता होना चाहिए ना, how to address it. See, frequent abortion, and it is also a big problem. So those all can be addressed very easily from this. Anyway, they will be under some doctor's supervision, and still they come to us for the spiritual support. Again, हाँ, spiritual healing, drugless therapy with no side effect, ठीक है भाई, हमको भी आपका कुछ देना है तो दे सकते हैं, ऐसा करके आएगा. You can give whatever the best possible support you can do that. ठीक है. So now let us close this. I think so we have covered everything. है ना? So anything specially, you are free to discuss any of the complaint, any of the disease, one to one, so that I whatever the knowledge I have acquired in those time, I will share with you, and we together we will win. Okay. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. PCOD. PCOD I already covered that. PCOD is mainly, let us see, is there I think so in yeah, it's a common problem in a PCOD. Now, how to find out what remedy to be given for the PCOD? I told you, I in the previous class I taken the class, zero to hero. From zero to hero, how we want to become from zero to hero. See, this is the index given at the CC combo book. PCOD and PCOS are written in the 8.4. Combination 8.4. So then we go to the 8.4. Yes, 8.4. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for reminding me to, because this is the biggest problem nowadays. Why this is happening? Any idea? Because I think so, because of the hormone induced milk. Because that even cows also they are given hormonal injection for producing the milk, and that milk is being taken, we don't know what milk it is, we take it, and for that our hormonal imbalance will happen. And another most important thing I forgot to tell you, why this not having good sperm count or not having good eggs, what is, why it is coming? That is coming because of the genetically modified food, GMO food. What is GMO food? We take lot many things, like seedless things, seedless grapes, and seedless papaya. Nowadays, everything is seedless. That if you take a seedless, so how can you produce your own seed? Anna, this is what I strongly believe. That's why you insist on all with seed fruits. Make sure that you eat the with seeds fruits only. And now coming back to our the PCOD PCOS 8.1 as it is we have to give. Along with that, these are the remedies. Calcareous flour is one of the important remedy for the hard growth inside the inside the ovaries and uterus. And generally what is the PCODs? They are bubble like structure, like uh, that there is a, that will be containing the sac, some liquid fluid like things will be there, so that can be addressed to the apis also. And yes, when you come this, you will come to know this is the most important remedies for the PCOD. Arum nat, it is in the homeopathy, it is addressing all the uterus fibroids, and even for the PCODs also. You can go through this particular remedy in a single remedy, then you will understand what all it is taking care of. Okay. And all the so many thyroid, psychotico, and nitric acid, borax, bovista, creosotum, fantastic remedy for all the vaginitis, and this you see there is a cyst also, cyst and tumors and cyst and Fraxinus americana. This is one of the most wonderful uterine tonic. Lapis alba. It is used for the glandular swelling, glandular affection of anything. So this is a wonderful thiocyanum is for the scar tissue. If it is if the tumor is made up of the fibrous tissues, to dissolve that you can use this. है ना? आपको क्या करना है? Just don't leave like this. Go to this particular remedy and find out whether it is suiting to your patient's symptoms or not. If it is, along with this combination, give additionally thiocyanum also. Okay. Platina metallicum and lapis alba, Fraxinus americana. There are some they are telling from homeo store. It is not applicable for you. Means you can generate all those from your numerical mathematica. They don't have card. For that reason, they have written that from the homeo store. So we can be totally vibronic. Not at all. We can or we have to use the homeopathic remedies. Those are taking training and becoming the healers. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for reminding me on because the greatest the topic about PCOD, PCOS is a common thing. So 8.4 is that remedy. Go inside that remedy and you will find a lot many other ingredient and study and match and give. Okay. Yes, sir. Anything else, sir? Anything else? Any doubts, sir, please? Or anything you want to know more about this? As I told you, please advise your female patient if they are seeking for a baby, use the garke. What is they called? Durva. Dhruva they call in Sanskrit. And it is made of, if you want to buy homeopathic or you can say want homeopathy or it is there in our book, if you want to use the correct Metre Medica, buy from the Metre Medica is Titrica repens is a remedy which will which will clean the fallopian tube and which is most necessary for having the baby.
So, sir, I have a question.
Yes, madam.
Even if the patient doesn't have any issue conceiving the child,
Hmm.
can the person still take the 21 Durva grass, boil it and consume?
Yes, correct. That is
Okay.
always and commonly if there will be a yeah very good question. There will be a lack of synchronization. You know what is the lack of synchronization? And yeah, whenever there is a ovulation is there, after certain period within
இல்லைங்க
5 to 6 days,
மாஸ்டர்
it has to unite with the sperm. Otherwise,
ಲೇಟಾಗತ್ತಾ ನಿಂಗೆ ಲೇಟಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂದ
otherwise it will not fertilize. So in such cases, we have to take there is a temperature method also. With the temperature method, we will come to know that ovulation has taken place or not. You can take a normal, generally I advise the vaginal temperature or you can take normal temperature also and make a diary. Use a diary and they have to daily at the same time just before waking up, they have to take the temperature of the body. I generally take the vaginal temperature because nowadays the digital temperature, digital thermometers are there. Note it down because for the children, I have seen parents, they can do many sacrifices. So they are right, they have to maintain the chart and at exactly what period the evolution is taking place, that time temperature will be little bit high. When the temperature is high, you can imagine that हम बोलते हैं wheat आ गया heat आ गया, they say in all the cattle field those who are maintaining, they say this word. Similarly it applies to our human being also. So you maintain that, then that time you make sure that they have that sperm should be released at that particular time, then there is a possibilities of the conceiving also. And for everyone, I advise for men, they have to take one anjeer, dry anjeer, put in the milk the previous night. In the morning, they have to squeeze and take it. It is a common remedy for increasing the sperm count. And along with that, our OM male and iodine. That is a combination for our Suvarna madam's patent combination for increasing the sperm quality. For increasing the sperm quality, or you can say sperm count, if generally we have seen which is totally nil, no, that is called as a azoospermia. Azoospermia is very difficult to cure. But if some count is there, some sperm counts are there but not healthy and low count is there, that time definitely by using this we can by using the that dry anjur and the OM male and with iodine 30 potency, definitely that sperm count can be increased. And in female, that is a garike, 11 garike or 21 garike, whatever you can, they think it is sufficient and they have to boil, and the water becomes greenish and they can take it. It's good for even urinary infection also. Also, it clears the fallopian tube. Yes. Am I covered your doubt, madam? No.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am. Yes, sir. Anything else to discuss? Anything else to know? Because it's a common problem. They come to us. Many I have, I know. I'm very proud to say that in everywhere they have lost the hope, and here they came with our medication, and they are all right. They gave the baby. And one incident, it was very, sometimes ये भगवान का देन रहता है. ये भी है ना कि ये सब बोलते हैं ना कि there is a Sanskrit one श्लोक, I don't remember. All children and with the house and all your comforts, they come from your fate. They come from your past karmas. But we, by thinking it like that, we can't stop. हो सकता है उसका, that is why our daily प्रार्थना, daily prayer to God ये होना चाहिए, भाई जिसका कर्म खत्म होने का आया उन्हीं को मैं हमारे पास भेजो. You send those people, those who want to know your karma is finished and they want to help. They like that only. In one incident, I tell you, they were from Odisha, and someone gave her their our reference, and that lady 3 years they got married, and she was unable to conceive. For that reason, they are ready to make the second marriage. She was literally crying. So, in this one, in such a situation, luckily with the God's grace, with the all these remedies, she conceived within 2 months. And the first test, first test she sent to me only, just after the stopping of the menses. And generally testing is done after 40 days. But she did just after finishing her, though she didn't get the menses, and she got the, I know nowadays that strip is there, we can get the whether pregnant or not. And she sent to me first. She said, even I have not told to my husband also, please check, doctor, we have a conceived. Then I say, yes, you are conceived, congratulations, but don't tell for 10 days. Because 10 days is a crucial. After 40 days, you do it once again, then you can declare it. Just after, once again, after 40 days, she took another test. Again, it was confirmed. And the joy she expressed was unlimited. And that she had a baby boy, and the first snap came to me only. She told to the doctor, this is that doctor, he should go. Prabhakar doctor, it should go. Means that was a joyful incidents in our life. So they are very happy. Anna. Okay. Then
Sir,
ask.
sir, please take one exclusive session on childbirth issues, sir. And what are the criteria to be considered and what are the remedy to be adopted and so on. So, any exclusive session for this only
Sure, sir.
with elaborately.
We can do. We are all covered. We'll take, or we'll make a small notes
Yes,
about
yes.
it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
We will do it, and then
So it will help so many people.
yeah. And I told you that the quantum analyzer will help us to assess the sperm quality.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then after that, because both sides should be there, and
Yes, sir. Both sides.
and I don't entertain any one party medication. अगर बोलेगा and I want this is a such a thing, otherwise the always they will be because of that girl I am not able to get a child, like that it comes to their mind. बहुत हॉरिबल रहता है बिकॉज एंड वो जो पैदा होने वाला बच्चा वो भी ठीक नहीं रहेगा. सो मैं चाहता हूं कि दोनों दोनों को ट्रीटमेंट देना, इवन दो वी नो दैट
Yes,
देयर इज
yes.
नो एनी मच प्रॉब्लम विद द मेन, बट आई नो इफ दे आर नो, इफ एक ही को मेडिसिन देंगे चलेगा नहीं, देन दे विल थिंक बिकॉज ऑफ हर आई एम नॉट गेटिंग द चाइल्ड. यू विल थिंक बिकॉज ऑफ अस यू शुड फील, बिकॉज ऑफ अस वी आर नॉट गेटिंग द चाइल्ड. ऐसा आ जाएगा तो that that child, the child whatever it is going to be, it will be very healthy, healthy by mind and even for by the physical also.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
and this is the temperature method is a fantastic thing,
Yes,
definitely.
sir.
As you
Really,
said, we'll
really
take
wonderful,
a
sir.
separate
Yes, yes.
this one on that.
It is true. Yes, sir.
Uh,
Sir, even stress is a major cause because the working hours are like a lot, night duties also, night shifts also. So all this is also impacting the childbirth.
Yes, correct. You are right. That's what I told you. Main is our sanitary life, and that too because mainly because of laptop. All are because techies, all those people they're using the laptop maximum because laptop is producing lot of the radiation and heat also. Because we saw that testicle should be hanged, because hanged down. I mean hanged means they are hanging because it need a cool atmosphere to produce the healthy sperm. If you are not keeping healthy, that time laptop they are used and you are using the, you can say, your driving, there's all things makes that area hot. So for that reason we should find out the occupational hazard, whatever it is helping or it is making them not to have the baby correctly.
Right, sir.
हाँ sir. So we'll and here we'll again discuss, sir, anytime any this one is required, we'll discuss. Okay, thank you so much for the day and बहुत 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 शुक्रिया. लियाकत साहब हमारे साथ है तो और भी थोड़ा हिम्मत आता है. ही इज क्वालिफाइड डॉक्टर, ही इज फ्रॉम गुलबर्गा. एनीबडी है ना, कुछ कुछ चाहिए तो मदद चाहिए तो डेफिनेटली हमारा इसमें इज वेरी डाउन टू अर्थ, वेरी हेल्पिंग पर्सन. सो यू कैन डेफिनेटली आस्क हिम एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ हेल्प. नो आई ओ. ओके, ठीक है. Thank you so much.
So he's a homeopath.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
he is a homeopath. He is a
Okay,
qualified homeopath.
okay, sir.
And
Thank you.
using my machine since more than 5 6 years.
Wow, that's
Ah,
amazing. Thank you, sir.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you.